forward to this August occasion, a historical moment for the people of Oyo State and a major leap forward in our restoration agenda as an administration. What makes up Oyo State today is a very special geography created by God to set the pace due to its vast landmass, arable land, and intellectual manpower endowed our citizenry by God. Our forefathers built on this rich endowment of nature to carve out a place of excellence with their array of many groundbreaking achievements on the African continent. A state in which Bowels is domiciled, the first TV station in Black Africa, the first stadium, the Liberty Stadium, now Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, the first university, the University College, now the University of Ibadan, the first skyscraper, which is now the Odua Towers, and that is where when the general was talking to me this morning, he said, "Where is the cocoa money?" I said, "It's in Cocoa House." Oyo State was indeed a clear case of nature's and man's excellence rolled into one. This same Oyo State pioneered free education and a host of other significant historical antecedents. I think when Professor Folabi was talking, he said anything that is free is never as good as something you pay money for. We all agree with him. And nothing is free, really. Not even in Freetown. Everywhere in the world, you have to pay something for something. So I assure you, in Oyo State, there is no completely free education. But nevertheless, we must encourage our children. We must help the poor. And we must provide enabling environment for people to be the best that they can be. This same Oyo is now living as a shadow of his past. What then went wrong that this same Oyo, which our forefathers in their state of euphoria at this unparalleled excellence gleefully recalled, will play second fiddle to no one, as reflected in their mantra, Ajimobi Oyo Laari, Oyo Isebi Babe Enikan. What does this mean? We were the pace setter, but not anymore. So what went wrong? How come Oyo State now receded to the backwaters so badly that our children came 34th among the 36 states of Nigeria in the WAEC of 2011? There's truly no more important contribution which you can make to Oyo State and indeed Nigeria's future than a determined and long-term commitment to greatest civil challenge we face as a people today, which is properly educating our children. It is becoming obvious by the day that if we want to have a nation worthy of surviving beyond us, we must not leave it in the hands of the uneducated children. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what is education? For me, it has 8 steps. It is structured information. What is structured information? It is knowledge. What is knowledge? Knowledge is skill. What is skill? Human capital development. What is human capital development? Ability to earn a living. What is ability to earn a living? It is empowerment. What is empowerment? It is wealth creation. What is wealth creation? It is nation building and progress and development. That's distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we face crises that are capable of undermining the socio-political structure that the state is made of. Our educational system is producing, please, that fan, much as is good for me, it's also blowing my papers. So please adjust it a bit. So our educational system is producing third-rate students incapable of facing the challenges of the 21st century. I think when we were watching the video clips presented by Professor Afolabi, I saw something there, and I coined it in my own words. It's not exactly what they said, but what was he saying? Learners adapt to changes and they survive the challenges of the time. But the learned, they live in the past and they are unable to cope with the present. That's who knows how to use computer. Learn to be. And what is computer really? It is about processing information. That's all. It's an information processing device. How can you be a computer without using computer? You can learn to process your information better by educating yourself better. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what are our efforts today with all these problems? When this administration took over the mantle of leadership a year ago, we decided to check the decline in the sector while we engage all stakeholders to define the way forward in the sector. We are currently rehabilitating 235 blocks of classrooms in primary and secondary schools across the state. We have introduced extramural classes for our final year secondary school students to prepare them for external examinations. For quality control, we are already in talks with the University of Ibadan for independent and sustainable monitoring and control. To motivate the students, we have enthroned a policy that only students who achieve a specified threshold will benefit from the payment of WAEC fees by the government. Last year, the government paid almost 400 million, exactly 396 million as WAEC fees. We have resumed supply of science, laboratory equipment, and home economics after many years of abandonment. Last year, we introduced the tuition fee in our we reduced the tuition fee in our tertiary institutions to keep our teeming youths in school. I thought the polytechnic students are here and they will have a clap for reducing their tuition. And if the clap is not enough, then maybe we will increase it back to where Thank you. Although we jointly own the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ubomosho with Osun State, we are establishing a technical university as an increasing effort in our human capital development and to provide more spaces for our youth in search of tertiary education. And by the way, Professor Afolabi is one of those that is working closely with us to ensure that that university comes to life later in the year. And I must take this opportunity to express my appreciation formally to the Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly for the good job that they did yesterday at the public hearing in towards achieving and approving our own technical university in Oyo State. In our quest to ensure that those who cannot have tertiary education are not denied access to requisite skill to earn a decent living, we are building vocational and skill acquisition centers in all the 3 senatorial zones of the state. This summit is therefore a wake-up call on all stakeholders. We cannot continue to engage in the drudgery of abetting failure. The story that the above statistics tells us is that our public schools system is peopled with children who are not only woefully unprepared for any type of post-secondary academic work, but who do not possess the necessary skills and knowledge to become productive citizens. I think at the time that the general manager for Microsoft Francophone Africa, vous êtes français? Anglophone? Oh, vous êtes du Benin ou bien? Oh, to Nigeria, okay. Now, me too, I just have to pose for you guys. But I think the point I'm trying to make there is that whilst he was speaking, something was clear to me. And that is, many of our unemployed youths today that are looking for jobs, if you check most of them, they are not only unemployed, but believe me, they are unemployed. And you need to give them necessary skills in order to be employable. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oyo State Education Summit is not the answer to all the problems in the education sector. Rather, it is our own variant of a call to arms. It is a meeting of minds to rise to this critical challenge of the fundamental essence of our collective existence as a state. This must be a summit of restoration, a summit of reformation, a summit of repositioning. We must ensure that we have well-funded schools with the right curriculum structure, develop the right incentives and motivations for teachers, train the trainers, and ensure that we boost our capacity to train our children in an atmosphere where innovation and productivity thrive. We must nurture and celebrate excellence. We must avoid mediocrity. A note of warning to all of us, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is high time we threw overboard the practices that led us to where we are today by clearly defining where we want to be. Part of the deliverables we have set for this summit is to clearly define a strategic, implementable, and scalable plan to restore education in Oyo State. Even though our education story had been the story of a systemic neglect, unfocused allocation of resources, and lack of a clear and comprehensive strategic vision, it is time for change. As they used to say in those days, along with the go home with one Nigeria, I think we also used to say, to keep Nigeria warm is a tax that must be. To improve education in Oyo State is a tax that must be. In the course of your deliberations, I charge you to design programs that will transform stakeholders into change agents. We must take bold but measured steps needed for necessary changes to achieve a 360 turnaround of the education sector within the shortest possible time. I'm particularly enthused about the areas of special focus of this summit, which I listed as 11, which include special needs education, technical and vocational education, ICT education, review of educational policies, adult education, capacity building, funding for the educational sector, private sector partnership, that is, education support partners, infrastructure development, building of model schools, tertiary education, among others. I must not forget to state that the educational development of Oyo State is a collective task for us all. This Education Summit is a foundation from which the reversal of the decline in the state's educational sector can be achieved. We must utilize this platform to develop a viable roadmap for a sustainable educational development of the state in a comprehensive manner. I assure you that the outcome of your deliberations will be given utmost attention in the review of our educational policies. The period of stagnation in education is over. It is business unusual in the education sector in Oyo State henceforth. Whilst wishing you Solomonic wisdom in your deliberations, I pray that together we will rewrite the story of our educational past as we set our feet on the path of glory. I would like to once again specially commend this initiative of the Ministry of Education, the Commissioner and officials who provided the platform for this important milestone that has the potential to define our strategic focus as a state. Whilst the Commissioner was making her speech, she commended me for the vision, the approval. No, they brought it. My own was just to read and sign. But the only thing I did was to make sure that I yelled at them enough for them to know that this place better be a success. And if it is a success, can you please, at the end of my speech, you give them a very rousing applause. If it is not a success, when I finish my speech, please don't clap. But if you don't clap when I finish, they lose their jobs. Let me sincerely, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank our father, Dr. General Yakubu Gowon, who unarguably still remains the most handsome head of state we've ever had. Sir, your coming has confirmed eminence on this summit with your heroic and dignified presence. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we solemnly promise to execute the decision of this summit to ensure that we restore the glory, the lost glory of our education to Oyo State. Thank you for listening.